Hey you guys. So today's video, as you can tell from the title, is going to be all about makeup products that I, for whatever reason, cannot let go of. Some of these items I have had for a ridiculous amount of time, and some of them I haven't had for quite as long, but there's no good reason for me to keep hanging on to it. And why I thought this video would be kind of fun to make is because I've kind of maybe got myself a little reputation going now of the girl who just doesn't want a lot of makeup. So I'm kind of aggressive with the purging. I'm aggressive with the anti-hauling. I only want things in my immediate surrounding that I totally am obsessed with and love and use all the time. And I don't think that applies to a single product in this video. And not only that, this is the type of video I think would be cool to see become a tag, simply because I can't be the only one who does this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be the only one holding on to makeup for no good reason. And maybe we can kind of console each other or affirm for each other that this is completely healthy behavior. Or y'all can tell me I'm a damn fool and I'll get my act together shortly thereafter. But anyway, I thought it'd be fun to do, so let's get started. Oh, also really quick, I recently got my hair cut. So recent, it was yesterday actually. I got curtain bangs, which I haven't had any type of bang in so long. I think it's been, 5-6 years maybe. I totally love this haircut. This whole 70s thing that's coming back in fashion and in beauty right now. Thank you. I'm so happy about it. I can't wait to kind of talk more about some of the beauty trends that I've been seeing. I'm working on a video right now, kind of breaking them down because there's tons of them out there. I am so inspired by the beauty space again. I truly believe maybe it just took me kind of excusing myself from it for a year and then coming back, and now it's just all so fresh and new and exciting, and it's just really kicked up something in me that I haven't felt in so long. And I'm gonna go ahead and blame the current trends that we're seeing coming out, and I hope they stick around for a long time. Also, I'm testing out a new background right now. I don't know how well it's gonna work because I'm working with a little bit of natural light and a little bit of studio light. Seems like it should be great, could be a nightmare. Let me know how this is going on your end and I will adjust accordingly. Other than that, check the damn bar for links to all my social media platforms. Come hang out with me on Patreon if you're feeling squirrely, and let's just get started. So I'm not going to go in any particular order, but I am going to start with the piece of makeup in that entire collection that I own that I've had the longest, and it's this. I've actually featured this on my Instagram stories a couple of times. I can't tell you what the color is called, but this is a single shadow from Urban Decay, and it's kind of like this blue purple kind of duochrome, kind of like MAC's Contrast, I think was the color. That's actually why I bought this, because I was looking for a dupe to Contrast from MAC, because at the time, this was 2010, so 10 years I've had this freaking eyeshadow. That's disgusting. About 2010, where I lived at the time, we didn't have a MAC or anything like that. We had an Ulta. And I really wanted to recreate this makeup tutorial that I saw on YouTube, and it was like Kim Kardashian's first makeup tutorial with an artist who we've not seen hide nor hair from ever since those videos. But he did this look on her with a kind of purple crease, and it was similar to this color, and I remember getting it and being so disappointed because I couldn't really use it for that because it's shimmery, so it didn't blend into the crease the way I wanted. But I'll never forget it. I'll never let this go, because it was kind of at the time, for a girl who was as broke and struggling as I was, to go drop $18 on eyeshadow was such a big deal. And look at me now. I've done that so many times, it's upsetting, but yeah, never letting it go. Next are these two blushes. These are from the brand Illamasqua. I don't know if you guys have even heard of this brand because they don't carry them in Sephora anymore. This is a brand that I wish was carried locally around me because I'm very interested in it. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the name. It's the fact that it's British in it, and it's this kind of artistry driven line, and they have such iconic packaging, and I don't know what it is, but I've always been drawn to this brand. But because I can't ever, or at least anymore, swatch it or play with it in person, I'm just kind of reluctant to invest any more in it. But once upon a time, they did have Illamasqua in Sephora, and I actually got these in Vegas when I lived there. It's how long I've had these. So I've had these for about 6, 7 years, something embarrassing like that. This is Hussy and this is Lover. I honestly think half the reason I can't get rid of these blushes is because I love the name so much. But when you actually look at these in person, for them to be matte, these are some of the creamiest, like soft, look at that. It's like so soft and buttery and it blends out like a friggin' dream and it's pigmented and the colors themselves, I don't know if this is washing out on camera, but this is kind of like a pale peachy orange shade and that one is Lover, and Hussy is like kind of this super vibrant pink that I probably would never actually wear. So once again, that makes it all the more interesting that I've held onto it for so long, but it's like neon. I don't know if you can tell on camera. Again, super, super vivid. I never wear these. Never ever wear these. In fact, not only do I never wear them, I never even have them near me. Like, I have a kind of makeup collection right in front of me that I used to film with, and this is mostly what I use. Everything back there is kind of hanging out, slowly on its way out, whatever. These are always like in the bottom of a drawer, tucked away somewhere. Never use them. Can't let them go. Help me understand it. I think we'll just keep the cheek thing going and I'll talk about these, which I never use either. These are the Bobbi Brown Shimmer Bricks. I have nothing against these. I just genuinely forget I own them, and I've talked many times about the dangers of owning too many highlighters, being kind of that you got the one face, highlighter only encompasses such a tiny amount of that face, so acquiring tons of them doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And this is how I can tell you that with so much conviction, because I did this. Everything I've ever told you guys not to do, I've done in spades. And buying a lot of highlighters at one point, even for someone who would have never considered highlighter a favorite product, I've still bought so many. But anyway, this one is Beige from Bobbi Brown. It's a pretty popular one. I think it's one of the more universally, I don't want to say universally flattering, maybe like my skin tone, around that tone. A lot of people tend to love this one. It's just a kind of neutral champagne highlighter. It's fine. It's not unlike all the other highlighters I love. I just never pull for it. And the other one is called Apricot or Apricot, whatever. This one kind of looks a little bit more orange, like kind of like a coral gold on the skin. So it's really beautiful in the summer, but if I'm being honest, this works better as a blush topper for me overall. And as a highlighter, I just don't think I have the skin tone that works for this very well, but even still, it's still here. I did the big old purge and these did not end up in the bad bin. So explain it. I don't know. Why am I like this? Next up is the Becca and Jaclyn Hill original palette. Like, this thing was probably one of the first items in the beauty community that caused drama. I'll never forget it. I just remember waking up one morning and there was like what would become a drama channel. At the time, it was just some random video. But there was a drama channel kind of ripping Jaclyn Hill to shreds because this came back in stock. I guess the argument was, this should tell you how long ago it was, because this was when this could be considered breaking news. Basically, Becca came out, released this palette, said it was limited edition, and then they brought it back and everyone felt bamboozled and hoodwinked and swindled and all of the above. And I get it, don't get me wrong, but I just kind of really wanted this thing. So I was glad that it came back. I do use this one all the time. It's just that I have other things similar to it. I have the full version of Champagne Pop. I never use Prosecco Pop. I have similar blushes to this. I don't need this thing anymore, but I hold on to it for some unknown reason. Becca is a brand I really love. Jaclyn Hill is an influencer. You know, I'm going to say this really quick, you guys. Like, let's take a break from the subject matter at hand, and I just want to put this out there. I know Jaclyn Hill has gotten so much shit over the past couple of years, and some of it might be like somewhat okay. Some of it's well deserved. All right, let's get that clear. But after the shit show that we saw take place in the spring and summer with some of the more famous beauty gurus, with some of the more famous beauty gurus on this platform, I'm Team Jaclyn and I'm rooting for a comeback. I hope she gets her chance because, you know, no one's perfect and she has screwed up, but I feel like we were way too hard on her considering kind of the bigger issues at hand that certain people just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter. But this girl, everything she does, I don't know. Make sense what I'm saying? Next. This isn't really necessarily indicative of these products themselves, but they're more representative of certain things that I just can't let go of, and I don't know why, and that is A lot of my stuff from my old makeup kit, I still have. These are 2 Z palettes from my old makeup kit, and my daughter actually I had a label maker that I would label everything in my kit with because I was a psychopath. And she got a hold of it and made me a little love you sticker. And then every time I went on a job and saw this, and it made my day. I don't know. So I'll probably never let this go for that reason. But yeah, these are old Makeup Geek blushes in here from like the first launch they did back in like 2014. I think this is from the Balm. I think that's Frat Boy, if I'm not mistaken. And then in here, these are a bunch of MAC blushes that I used to take on jobs. These are 2 NARS blushes. Like, I have all of this stuff in my own personal collection. So there is no need to hang on to this. And honestly, the Pro Makeup kit that I still have left is still pretty big and it takes up a lot of space, but for some reason, I just can't let it go. And I know eventually I'm going to have to because the complexion products are definitely rancid by now, but just can't let it go. So many good memories. Next is a powder. This is the Hydra powder from By Terry. I haven't had this quite as long as some of the other things on this list, but I've had it for a while and I literally never used this. This wasn't cheap either. I think this loose powder was like $70, and it's not that you get a small amount of product in here, but this is supposed to be used under the eye specifically, and that's a small area, so I guess $70 for a powder that's intended for one spot on your face might be a little excessive, but I guess it wouldn't matter how much I paid for it if I used it, but I don't. Like, I went through a period when I first got it where I used it, and I remember using it on clients too because that's why I bought it, was for my kit. And like, I liked it. I don't remember having a moment of using it where I thought this product is bad and therefore not worth the price. I think it was more like, this product is fine, but there's tons of other things like it, and therefore it's not worth the price. So I don't know. I can't let this go for some reason. And it should be easy because I've got my powders. I know what powders I use. I don't really deviate. This will most likely never be used. And I have friends and family who probably would like it and use it, but for some reason, I just can't let you go. Okay, last, I have eyeshadow palettes. You guys, I have a few more things that I could do more videos like this about. You'll just have to let me know if this is interesting enough to make another video about, but I'm gonna wrap it up with a few eyeshadow palettes. So first is the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. I've only had this one for 2-3 years, I think. So not crazy long compared to some of this other shit, but long enough that it's like shit or get off the pot time, because it's just been hanging out in my drawers for years and I've really not gotten a lot of use out of it. But the problem, I think I know why I'm having a hard time letting this one go. The shimmers, for as much shit as I talk about Too Faced, let's be honest, I'm not a big fan, kind of haven't been for a long time. They really did a good job with this palette, and it's even the chocolate ones, which are the ones I rag on the hardest. All that aside, they still did a really good job with this one, because these shimmers, you guys, they are really, really good. Like, I don't even know how they got them so metallic and shimmery and shiny and buttery, and they don't fall out really a whole lot. And when you spray them with like a setting spray or something, it just gets like chrome. They're just really good eyeshadows. Even the mattes in here are nice. Like, this is one of the blackest blacks I've ever used. This is a good transition color. Like, they're good shadows. I just never use them. And now all I can smell is friggin' chocolate. How can something be so delicious and yet so completely pointless? Next is the Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. This is another one I haven't had. Actually, the rest of these palettes I really haven't had super long. The interesting thing about them isn't the length of time I've owned them, it's the fact that I like them and yet never use them. So the Dose of Colors Friendcation palette from Desi and Katy. I don't know what the general consensus of this palette was when it first came out, so I don't know. Everyone could have thought this is a total flippity flop. I think this is a great palette, and I wish Dose of Colors would do more of these, because these colors, I'm not sure, don't quote me, but I think these are the same, I think they're called the Block Party eyeshadows that Dose of Colors came out with a while. I wanted those so bad, but at the time I just could not get my mind around paying like $25, $26 for a single eyeshadow, no matter how beautiful they were. So when this palette came out, I was like, shit, yeah, because I can kind of play with this formula. Again, I don't know if it's identical, but it reminds me a lot of it. So I'm just going to assume. This came out and I've used it a few times. I have a tutorial, actually, not a tutorial, I think it's a chit chat, get ready. I'll link it below, above, below, whatever, where I did it with this blue, and so pretty. I would love to like have a reason to wear this blue smoky eye again. I've done a look with this. I've done a look with this. I really haven't used this one. But other than that, I've used every color in here. Clearly liked this one a lot. Like, this is such a good palette. It's compact. I feel like you can get tons of looks out of it. I even love the actual packaging itself. I feel like a lot of palettes kind of screw it up, especially when they're doing ones that are maybe made out of cardboard as opposed to something harder like this. Like, you know how Anastasia does like those felt ones and they get disgusting? Like, this was solid. Like, right? Like, am I the only one who thought so? I don't know. Love it, never use it, don't know why. I reviewed both of these on my channel, did dedicated videos because I got them in PR, and I gave them favorable reviews, and that's because I liked them, which is why they're in this video, because I like them and I never used them. And this actually kind of jogs kind of a train of thought for me I would like to bring up for you guys who are kind of OGs in the beauty space or watch a lot of beauty YouTube. You know, we do get kind of upset with influencers. I'm sorry if I keep touching my hair, side note. I know it drives some people nuts, but I'm a human being. I don't know what to tell you. I know that some of us can get really upset whenever an influencer or a beauty guru comes out and they do a dedicated review of a product, or they hype up a product a lot, or it's in a favorites video and they're like, I love it, I love it, I love it, and then you never see it again. The discussion has become like, oh, well, if it's a favorite, then we should see it all the time. Yes and no, you guys. Like, here's the deal. When it comes to makeup, like, overall, you're just gonna go through phases with stuff that you like, or you're going to find new things that you enjoy, or maybe you have a month where you're just really into trying new stuff, so there's lots of favorites one month and not so many next month. Like, understand, just because you never see a product from, you guys have never seen these again since I talked about them, but I'm here to tell you, I still stand by what I said. They are good palettes, but as with everything in here, for one reason or the other, they're just not getting picked up. Just because it's not a favorite of mine and just because it's not something I use all the time does not mean that it's not something you would like. So I still think reviews like that can be helpful, even if you never see the product be used again. But that's also why, you guys, I make it a point to tell you when I repurchase stuff, how many times I repurchase stuff, and you see a lot of the same shit pop up in my videos over and over again. Like, I'm trying to strike a balance, but all I'm trying to say is, like, don't assume the worst of people all the time. Anyway, this is the Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette, and this is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, and I like them both and can't let either of them go. These are the only naked palettes I have left. I've gotten rid of all the other ones because I wasn't using them. This one in particular, I think I'm having a hard time letting go of because the colors are so unique, and I don't really have anything else like this. I just genuinely don't have a lot of these like mauvey, pinky berry tones. Like, I have a lot of red, I have a lot of purple, but this kind of like muted rose, dusty in-between color is pretty yummy. It's really beautiful. It's just not something I pull for all the time, but I'm not willing to swear off never wanting to use it again. This one might be closer to being sworn off completely, but there's just some colors in here that I don't have anything like, so I'm not willing to let it go. Particularly this one, which is called Refueled. I love this color. I love this color. I love this color. This is a good palette too, but I just don't wear warm colors like burnt oranges and reds and stuff very much anymore. Like, I'm really into now what I'm seeing happen with the beauty space, where it's like not so much the smoky eye, but we're doing more graphic liner or using like embellishments like pearls and rhinestones or pops of color. Like, the days of the full-blown orange smoky eye have been gone for a long time, and I think they're really living their last days, but this one would be perfect for that. I don't do it anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'll bust one out for you guys again if you want to for the fall season, but overall. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of spur of the moment. I just really wanted to sit down and hang out, talk to you guys, and just kind of reminisce and be nostalgic about our makeup products. As always, thank you to the patrons. I hope you guys will come hang out with me on Patreon. It's actually been a year since I launched it now. It's like our Patreon birthday, and I'm planning a little something for the birthday over there. I think we're gonna have like a little party. I wanna have a birthday party over there for my patrons, or maybe we'll have like a Zoom call, or at the very least a live stream where I just hang out. Maybe we have a couple drinks, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Check the down bar for links on my social media platforms, and I will catch you in the next one.